Welcome back to Silver Thread Sewing. I'm Diane. This is Friday Sews. I hope everyone's well. I appreciate you stopping by my little channel. First of all, I want to say thank you as always to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting the hashtag Friday Sews. It's one of my favorite things that I watch. I just love it. It's my entertainment. My husband usually watches TV and I watch Friday Sews. So, and there's a whole lot more people joining in now, so you can find new people to watch if you want to. But it always goes back to thanking Jen, because without her, we wouldn't be here. I've got 2 or 3 things to share with you real quickly, and I'm going to start out with the sewing, because I know a lot of people just are here for the garment sewing. I want to do just a real brief, a gift to November, which is a challenge started by Adam from Adam Sews and Sew Like Dottie, I believe, and I will link both of their channels below. I'm not part of the vlogger team or anything, but I had seen this challenge and I have finally found a coaster that I like making. If you recall, a couple weeks ago, I had tried to make one like a pumpkin, and I didn't like doing that. But I have found one that I made several years ago, and I started searching for it and found it, and I wanted to share that with you real briefly. And then, last thing, my husband and he agreed to, well, I agreed this time, to go up to the garage and we played Name That Tool. Now, I will link the video where we played Name That Notion a while back, which was started by Aaron from Aaron Sews. And it's a fun little game to see how many of your sewing notions your husband or significant other might know or not. So I kind of set him up to fail unintentionally because I made it really hard. So we're going to see if I did any better with the tools than he did with the sewing notions. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the sewing, like I said, in case you want to skip over the other parts, which is totally fine. I finished up another pair, and this is actually my first wearable, wear out in public largo cargos that I have finished. I'm very happy with them. Well, it's my second pair. The corduroys are wear in public ready. So this is a pair that I made out of a fabric that was gifted to me, and I wore them last night, so they're crumpled. And I decided, my zipper, I decided not to put a button on these. I decided to put a snap. And I run into a little bit of trouble with that simply because I couldn't hold the little setter thing and hit it with the hammer, so I had to get my husband to take out the snap that I had put in originally, and he helped me, and that's the only way I got them finished because I was having a terrible time. I've got a rivet press, and you can get the die that are for snaps, but I don't have those, so that didn't work. But I'm real happy with these. The zipper went in great. They fit me, and I'll put a picture of me wearing these last night. I wore them with, it was a Love Notions Ballad Blouse that I had made some time ago, and the colors in it just matched this fabric perfectly. And I put a cardigan over it, a ready-to-wear cardigan over it, so I'll put a picture somewhere of me wearing that. So I enjoyed these, and I'm going to wear them again this weekend, hopefully. I have another pair started. I'm finding that the more I do certain things, you've heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. I'm starting to think that's true. I'm finding the more I do it, the better I'm getting at the zipper and the pockets and the top stitching. This fabric I ordered from Fabric Wholesale Direct not too long ago, and it's just a canvas fabric, and it's 100% cotton. And if they still have that, I'll try to put a link to the fabric below. But it's just the Love Notions Largo Cargos. And I hope to get those finished in the next day or so. Now, today I'm wearing this shirt, and it's Butterick 6687. And I'm wearing the View that has the ruched sleeves. This version. And I made this several years ago, and I honestly think it's one of my most worn garments ever. This fabric came from Walmart, and it is a really heavyweight flannel-like fabric. And they have it in this color and a white background flannel, but it is heavy. Now, this pattern calls for double Georgette, crepe de chine, crepe, challis, and charmeuse. So very lightweight, drapey fabrics. That is what it recommends. And I don't know what possessed me, but I decided that I wanted to make this fabric into that shirt. And even though it's not listed as, you know, anything near lightweight enough, I love the way it turned out. The sleeves are ruched. And I wear this thing all the time. It's warm. It fits me well. And I always get a lot of compliments when I wear it. So, yeah, I've had it for a long time. So, the only thing other than the Largo cargos that I'm working on this week is NewLook 6262. And I'm making view A, which is this one here, the sleeveless version. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I don't like my arms, so I don't ever wear sleeveless things. But I've got a plan for that, and that's why I'm doing this. So I have this fabric that also, this did come from Fabric Mart Fabrics, and it is a beautiful rayon challis, and I just love the colors for fall. I think it's so pretty. Now, it's very lightweight and very drapey, and I've cut that sleeveless dress out. And I have a piece of waffle knit that I got from Walmart in the fabric bundles. It was 3 yards for $8. And it's this brown, beautiful, soft color. I hope that's showing up well. But let me see if I can show you together. They coordinate, I think, really well. I hope you can see that. In person, they look a little closer. This is more the color of the background in places. So I'm going to make a cardigan to wear over this sleeveless dress and hopefully have it for Thanksgiving. That's my plan. And the last sewing thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the sewing challenge, a gift to November. So a couple weeks ago, I tried making some little coasters, and I was going to make them as pumpkins and give them as gifts to different people. And I didn't like making them. I made 2, and I didn't enjoy that. And I remembered that I had made some little coasters a few years back, and I use them still. I've got one on my nightstand right now. But they're just simple. You cut 5 squares that are the same size. Mine are 4.5 inches. And they make these cute little coasters. They look very complicated, but they're not. And this part is open, if I can get my finger work. And this part's open. This part's open. And this part's open. But yet they're sewn. That's the background fabric. And there's a couple of different things you can use for the inside. Now, I am terrible at videos or tutorials. I'm not set up for that. I don't ever know if my hands are even in the shots. So I went to the ironing board and showed how to fold your fabric. It's basically folding and ironing and then sewing it's one seam, but you just sew around the 4 sides and turn everything out. So I'm going to try. Hopefully that turned out well enough that I can show you how to make these if you're interested. But I'm going to make a whole bunch. I've got a stack of squares this high that I've had for ages just out of scraps. And I'm going to put some together and make like 4 and tie them with a ribbon and give them out to different, our favorite waitress and my favorite receptionist at the doctor's office, or checkout clerk at the grocery store, or just people at the post office, and different people that are so kind and that I'm really grateful to, but that I don't really know, I wouldn't know what to buy them. And this is something that I thought they could keep and use, because who doesn't need a coaster? So I'm going to try to show you that now. Okay, So as you know, I am not good at demonstrations and I'm not set up for any of that, but I thought I could show you enough that if you're interested, you can investigate it yourself, or I can try to do a video more detailed on what you would need to do. It's very simple. You take your squares, and they all need to be the same size. These squares are about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. You need 5 squares. You would also need a square of either flannel, or I'm using just one layer of thin batting like you would put in a quilt. And it's cut at 4 inches, so it's 1/2 inch smaller than your squares. Now, they can be any color. You can make them holiday themed. You can make them any colors, or fun prints that you want to, just as long as they're all the same size. Now, you need to make sure that you know which square you want to be your bottom. I have made them in the past and just used 2 pieces of flannel and made the flannel the bottom, because this will be the bottom of your coaster. But for this little demonstration, I'm just going to show you this fabric here will be my bottom fabric. And I'm going to put my batting underneath that. Now, the other 4 squares, these will be the 4 squares that show on top. And all you need to do is take it to your ironing board. And I hope I'm not shaking you too bad. Just iron those squares in half with right sides up. And I hope you can see that. Just give them a really good steam press. It's not anything difficult at all. Just bring the raw edges so you have a fold. And it's all right side up or right side out. And I think these will coordinate pretty well. I'm not real worried about the background fabric. Okay. And then with right side up of your bottom background fabric, you're going to just start to layer these fabrics. You're going to put one, and you're going to put your raw edges evenly. And then the next one with raw edges even will turn this way. And your folded edges are always pointing to the inside. And layer that one on top. And then your last one, again, the folded edge toward the inside. Now, there's a twist with this one, so let me grab a pen. All right, so I'm going to pin down through all the layers just to keep everything neat. And all my raw edges are toward the outside, and they're all nice and even. And I'm going to pin this last one right here. Now, before I pin this end down, I'm going to raise up this fabric and layer it back over the top, and then place my pin. Now, all I have to do is go to the machine and sew around the outside edge of these pieces. And I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I went to my machine and I sewed around all 4 sides of this little piece. And I'm not even taking the pins out yet. I'll do that now. And I use a fairly small stitch length just so everything's sturdy and I don't have to worry, but I did back tack it at both ends. And I'm going to trim off my corners, being careful not to trim past my seam allowance, just to remove some of the bulk. I think my scissors are dull. Okay. And you can also trim down your seam allowance a little. I don't think I'm going to on this one. I want to make sure it's sturdy. And then what I do is I reach in and flip all this that I just got done sewing to the outside. I'm going to get something. I've got a point turner. So use my point turner. And I'm just going to reach in the inside and kind of poke those corners out so they will look nice and pointy, hopefully. You don't have to poke too hard, just enough to make sure it looks neat. All right. And just flatten that out. Turn it over. And I've got one corner here that I didn't get poked out very well. All right. Now, like I said, you can use flannel, just a piece of flannel if you want a thinner coaster that is a little bit more substantial. It's still pretty thin, but and you can reach inside, you can see in, but when you look inside, all you see is the fabric underneath it. So I really enjoy these. They don't take much fabric and they're quick. And I like folding, so all these edges are automatically even and all your raw edges are enclosed in your seam. So I hope you could see that good enough to tell how I made this. But if you have any questions or anything, just pop them in the comments, and as best as I can, I'll answer them. But they're very simple. If they weren't, I couldn't have made them. So I'm going to put in the footage now. My husband and I are going to play Name That Tool. And I don't know how that's going to go, because he owes me one real bad because he didn't know but one of my sewing notions, and that was chalk. So today is our anniversary, so we're going to get ready here after we do that and go out and have dinner later. And my iron's cutting off now. Hello. So as promised, we are in the garage, and Greg is going to play Name That Tool with me. So I think I've already explained kind of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So wish me luck. If I know the name of this tool that he's going to show me, or these tools, I get 1 point. And if by some grand miracle I were to know the name and the function, I will get 2 more points. So there's 30 potential points, I think, if he has 10 tools. But anyway, we'll get started and see how it goes. So wish me luck.
I'll go. A variety of tools here on the table, from body work to mechanicking, I guess. A variety of things. This is you have to tell them what it is, don't you?
Well, I have to try to see if I know first.
Well, look at it.
All right. So I know that you hook this little doohickey into a vehicle. And I think it says some stuff on it. It says Auto Scanner Plus. So I know it's a scan tool. I've heard you call it a scan tool. But I'm not real sure that I know what exactly it tells you. I think if my check engine light comes on my car, you can hook this up and it will give you some code, and then you have to go figure out what that means. It's tore up.
Right. Basically is.
Basically is. So I get 3 points.
All of your sensors on your engine that mostly control your exhaust, your fuel mixture, air mixture, and all that, all the sensors. All those functions have a sensor, and one of those sensors go bad, your engine light comes on, and that scan tool there is supposed to tell you which sensor it is.
But instead of just saying what sensor is, it gives you a code, and then you have
Gives
to
you a
figure out
code.
that code, and I think that's silly. It should just say
All
words.
sensors have a code. Yes,
All right, here's an, oh, this one looks very impressive, and it's actually clean.
it's clean. Very important to have very, very clean tools.
Oh, I couldn't tell. I'm glad you told us that. Well, this is another something or another. It's another computer. But it doesn't look like the other one. It has all kinds of little arrows and a home key. This looks like an iPad for a boy. I think it's a boy iPad.
It has padding around it for when we drop it.
Oh, which you probably will, or I will. I know it's another kind of electronic something that you hook into your vehicle, but I don't have a clue what it does. I don't know why you need it in that other little one over there too.
Because that one is much more detailed. It's also a scan tool, but it's much more detailed. That one will give you live data. That one, the little one, will just tell you why your engine light's on, what sensor is giving you a code. With that one, you can start your car and run it, and everything that's going on in your car, every computer system, all modules, everything, it shows live data of what's going on with them. And a lot of these sensors work on very, very small voltage, and that will show you live what each one's doing, and if it's doing what it's supposed to do. So it's much more detailed.
So basically,
and much more expensive too.
So basically, if you have a short between the steering wheel and the seat, it will tell you?
Probably not that, no. It has to be.
As in me?
It has to be a sensor.
I got you, and I don't have one of those. Okay, so I don't get anything for that one. But it is pretty, and it's red, and it's clean.
Yeah. Okay,
So I have 3 points.
this here.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, it looks like a water hose,
It does.
but it doesn't have a little squirt thing. Has a gauge on it. So I know that it says low field. I think I know what this is, but I don't know what you call it. This, I believe, is one of those little things that you hook up when you're filling your air conditioner with the Freon stuff to make it cold.
You've seen me do that.
I have seen you do that, and I've heard you fuss when it leaked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what that is, yeah.
All right, so I get 2 points, but I don't know what it's called, so I don't get
I don't know what it's called either.
Are you writing my points down?
No, I didn't write your
I
points
had
down.
3 for the first one.
3?
I knew all that stuff. And the next one I didn't get any.
No,
And I got 2 for this one.
2.
We don't want to miss out on my points. Yes, I have seen you use
That's
that
what
one.
it's for.
Okay,
All right.
I'm getting a little worried.
This
Well,
one.
that looks the same as that one.
No, it's different.
Oh, this one just has numbers, and it's dirty too. Oh, if you can see that. Has a hose, and it has a tube. Good grief, Charlie Brown. I would say like a tire pressure thing, but it shouldn't have this. You check some kind of pressure with it, but I have no idea what.
Ready for me to tell you?
I think, yes.
That is to check your fuel pump, your pressure, your fuel pressure. Used to, on a lot of cars, they used to put a little valve on your fuel rail where your gas comes in to go to your cylinders. And some have it and some don't. If you have a valve, you can screw this, it looks just like a tire valve on your fuel rail. And you can screw that onto that and start your fuel pump, turn your key, and it'll go up to the pressure it's supposed to have, and you can check it if your pump's pumping right. And this valve here is to release the gas that goes into the tool.
Out through
And
this little
the
tube.
gas, the excess gas will go back out that tube right there.
Oh, I never would have got that.
That's what that's for, to check your fuel pressure.
Okay, well, I missed that.
You didn't get any points for that, did you?
No, don't rub it in.
Big zero.
Next.
All right, you know, I'm sure you'll know what that is.
I do. I think it's heavy.
That's an easy one.
I think that's a hydraulic doohickey that you like change the lugs on your tires.
Yes, but not hydraulic.
It's not hydraulic? Well, why does it have this little doohickey?
It works off air. It's pneumatic.
Oh, pneumatic.
Pneumatic.
Hydraulic's got the liquidy stuff. Darn it, Alan.
Yeah.
Well.
That's a pneumatic.
It's kind of fun.
uh,
A pneumatic
air ratchet.
ratchet.
Air ratchet, yeah.
Well, I kind of knew the function. I
Take the
just
lugs
didn't know
off
the name.
take the lugs off your wheels.
Well, I think I
Right.
deserve 2 points for
I'll
that.
give you 2 points for that.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Today's our anniversary, by the way, so he has to give me a few points anyway.
All right.
These things all look alike.
That's sharp. Don't touch it.
Don't touch that. These all look just alike. They all have hoses and tubes and.
You know that's pneumatic tubes, right? There's the hook.
Yeah, I knew that.
Put your air hose on that so it works off air.
I think that might be a saw. You cut something. I know you use it when you're working on vehicles, but we're gonna take too much time. I know it's pneumatic. It's a pneumatic tool that you work on a car.
It is.
But I don't know.
You remove windshields with that.
Oh, good grief. I wouldn't never guess
You
that.
slide that up and under the edge of the windshield into the sealer, and that vibrates back and forth real fast, and you can go around your windshield with it and take your windshield out. A cracked windshield.
You made these too hard. Now, I hope
They
y'all
are
are going to
hard.
tell him that he made these too
I
hard.
did make them too hard, I believe.
I believe too, but yours weren't too easy when we did my tools. Okay, I know this is plier type stuff, and it has 2 little holes. I don't think we're doing a good job showing y'all. It has 2 little holes.
Turn it around so you can see the
Oh.
other. That's the working side of it there.
That is. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, good grief. I think this, you put this around a screw to pull them out.
No.
No. I think, I don't know.
See the slopes and the
I do,
little
but
slots.
it doesn't make any sense.
You would bend something with that. See the way it curls over? That's
Well,
a,
I wouldn't do it that way.
that's a brake line bender. You can bend brake lines with that.
You just used that last week,
I did.
but I didn't see it. A brake line bender. I'm not doing too much better than you did.
I think I got these things too hard.
I think you did too, because I've not even seen some of these. Huh. Oh my. And they're all dirty.
Yeah, they're dirty.
Oh, that's cute. Look at that. That's like a well pump that you get water from a well. Is that what that is?
No.
That is, you put a piece of something in there and close that up on it.
Yeah, you put this screw in this end and you screw it down and it pushes this up. So you would slide that into something and that would push it out as you screw it down. It's to remove tie rod ends. Tie rod ends, yeah.
I see how it works, but
Pop out a tie rod.
I've never seen that either.
Pop out a tie rod end.
Never seen that one either.
Very, very important.
He cheated. He made them too hard.
I did make them too hard, I believe.
Just got a couple more. Salem is up here and she doesn't like it. The concrete floor, she's not happy. Okay, this is a ratchet.
My big one go. I had a big one.
Isn't this a ratchet?
It is. I had a bigger one.
Well, this one's big enough. I wouldn't know what it was either. I know how you work it. That turns it to go the other direction.
It's the same as that.
Well, that makes no difference to me. One is just more confusing than the other one. But I know how you change the direction that the little ratchet doohickey. Hi, Salem. She said, I want to say hi. I know they're ratchets. And I know this one's bigger than this one. That's about all I got.
What's the dials for? So they have dials now.
Torque.
Torque, you're right.
So it's a torque wrench.
It's a torque wrench. This one's for foot-pounds, and that one is for inch-pounds.
Well, good. I knew part of that.
Each size bolt is designed for a certain torque tightness, and this one does foot-pounds, and this one does inch-pounds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I should have a little bit of a point.
If it's 1 foot-pound, it's 12 inch-pounds.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes sense. 12 inches in a foot.
You dial that on your dial, and it gives you
Now,
the right
see,
torque.
you men just make everything too complicated.
Everything too complicated.
Is that all of them?
No. We'll get into that.
Well, now let's see.
Short term, yes.
It says Premium Show Clear Activator. I know that this has to do with painting a car. But it doesn't say what it is except activator. Fast speed 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit for professional use only. See, I'm not a professional, so I can't use it.
I'm not either. I shouldn't be using
I know. You are too. I know it has to do with painting a car, but I'm not sure what activator does.
Activator activates your paint. It won't get hard unless you put activator.
So it'll stay tacky.
If you didn't use this, the paint would still dry and get hard, but it'd take it a long, long time. That way you don't have to wait forever to put your next coat
So
on.
that plays into your impatience.
It pays into people's working by the hour. They're having to sit around twiddle their thumbs waiting for their paint
to dry.
Yeah.
I've heard people say it's the slowest watching paint dry or is boring.
But that speeds up the process. It's activator.
Oh, well, I knew part of it.
One more thing I have.
One more, and we're done.
One more thing. Here, hold that up. It's very heavy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it is heavy. And it says welding on it. Welding. But that's all it says. I think it's a welder. I think that you use that with flame and it welds stuff.
No, not flame.
Well,
No.
You use it with, well, a welder, you have to have a flame. It just says welder or welding. Where's the little button you push?
It's right here.
Oh, it's too heavy. I can't do that.
Yeah, you just push that. It is. That's to pull dents out of cars. If you have a dent like a crease, you grind all the paint off down to the metal, and you take this little copper rod and you stick it in that hole there. And then you put it up against your crease and you weld that little rod, will weld to the door or your dent. And then that'll be sticking out. And then
now that's cute. That's a cute little
you
man. See the color?
Then you take this puller. You take this puller and you hook to the little copper rod right here, and you pull your dent out.
Oh my good grief.
That's how that works.
They see you men coming a mile away with all these tools.
It was this stuff for screwdrivers and wrenches, and I know you knew what those were, so.
Yeah, you just wanted to make it hard because I made mine hard.
You did make yours hard.
All right. I don't know how many points I got because he didn't write them down, but I didn't get very many. Let's just say that. But thanks for playing the game.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoy, and I hope I have vindicated myself. Oh, your chair squeaks worse than mine. Vindicated myself for making him lose at my Name That Notion game. So there you go. But I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks for joining us. And remember, never stop sewing. If you are sewing, you'll never have money or time to get into any trouble. So keep sewing. Bye.